Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Today for the One Stamp at a Time blog hop, I was challenged to make a card with a theme of ghouls, goblins, and gourds. So we can choose any of those items or combine all of them if you want, but this is what I came up with. I'm going to show you how to make this card, but more importantly, this really cool background, because while that looks like designer series paper, I made it. I think you're going to love this. Let's get started. I'm going to bring in my cardstock layers first, and we're also going to be making a little treat holder using the takeout thinlits. That's what this is for. This is a piece of Whisper White that is 5.5 by 8.5. Then I've got Gorgeous Grape at 11 by 4.25. I've already scored it here at 5.5. And if you watched my tip video on Wednesday, you'll understand why you have to score when you're folding paper this way as opposed to this way. So check that video out. I've also got a piece of basic black here. That is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. A piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5. And another piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4. This is for the inside. I'm going to bring in my stamps and my piercing mat. I like to stamp on that. It gives me that extra cushion that makes all your images turn out really good. That's a good way to put it. Okay, we've got quite a few things going on here. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is we are going to stamp up the inside of our card. And I'm using Memento black ink here and the Cauldron Bubble stamp set. This has like become my favorite Halloween stamp set. I'm just going to stamp that Trick or Treat right on my card. Now, you guys know, if you follow me, that I can't leave it just at that, because that's kind of pretty boring, isn't it? So that's where my Gorgeous Grape ink comes in. And I'm just going to stamp these adorable little stars. And then I decided I needed just a little bit more. And that's when I brought in my bat punch. This bat punch is so fun. I've made so many things with it. I'm really having a good time with it. I'm going to just put one bat on the inside of my card. And then we have this done. And we can add this to the inside. Oh, look at that. I must have done that one crooked. I didn't even know that was on there. That's why they give us 2 sides to each sheet, right? Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Oops, I got that just a little bit crooked. There we go. Okay, so this is the inside of our card. Now we're going to work with the front. Let me make sure this is the right size. Yep, I wanted to make sure that I used the right size for the inside, because this one is a little bit smaller than the inside. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my grid paper here, because what we're going to do needs a little bit of extra space to work with. So I took one of our Spritzers. These are fabulous, by the way. You get 2 in a pack for like, I don't know, $3. They're pretty inexpensive. I love that the mist that they spray is very, very fine, and that's perfect for stamping projects. Then I'm bringing in my 70% rubbing alcohol and re-inker in basic gray. So what I did here is I filled my spritzer about 3/4 of the way with the rubbing alcohol, and then I added 2 drops of re-inker to it and shook it up. I took the spider web die from the Cauldron framelits. These are the framelits that go with the Cauldron Bubble stamp set. I took this and I die cut 3 sets of spider webs. So I'm just going to, these are kind of bowing up a little bit. I'm just going to bow them back down so that they lay flat. You see what I mean by their, they're kind of curling up a little bit. And I'm just going to drop these on my Whisper White layer. And then we're going to come in here with this spritzer and watch the magic happen. I shook this up a little bit just to make sure that it's mixed up good. I did not attach the spider webs to my piece of cardstock. Now, some people are going to ask, why aren't you just using water instead of rubbing alcohol? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. You want to use alcohol because it dries really quickly. Water will saturate things and it takes a while to dry, but the rubbing alcohol dries fairly quickly. Look at those spider webs. And I have to give a shout out to my downline and team member, Gina, because we were at a team meeting and she showed us how to do this. And of course, everybody fell in love with it. It's so stinking cute. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set this aside for a second. We're going to let that dry. I forgot to mention that you need a scrap of Gorgeous Grape also. I'm going to take the Happy Birthday Thinlit and I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay, here comes that Happy Birthday. And I'm just going to pop this out. You don't need to worry about the birthday part of it unless you want to use it for something else. But I am only using the happy. So I like to poke this with the take your pick tool. I love the pokey end in this. It's really substantial. Like you look like you could do a lot of damage with that. No, we're not going to be hurting anybody or yourself. Don't stab yourself. Okay, I kind of like to pop that tool in these holes to get this started because this is kind of a delicate die. Oh my God. There we go. Okay, and we're not going to worry about that birthday down here while you can certainly save it to use it for something else. Right now, I just need the happy part for our card. And I'm just going to detach so that it looks like the happy is the only thing that was die cut. Isn't that neat? Okay, we've got our happy done. You know, as long as we've got our grid paper out here, I'm going to bring in this big piece of cardstock. And this is the takeout die Thinlits. There's some really neat little images in here as well as some labels. I'm going to die cut right here. And then you turn it around and you put it right here. So to make one little takeout box, you need a half a sheet of cardstock. I'm going to die cut these and I'll be right back. And here we go. Here are the takeout box pieces. So I want to get my spider webs also stenciled on to these pieces so that we can keep going and everything dries. So I'm going to do that right away. I've got that same re-inker and alcohol solution here. And I'm just going to mist that. Look, it isn't just the coolest, right? It's just like magic. And then we're going to bring in the other one and we're going to do the same thing. You can just drop these on here wherever. Ta-da! Love, love, love. Okay, now I'm just going to set those aside to dry. So we can get this out of the way and we can finish up our card. Okay, there was a couple little things that I wanted to do this. First of all, I'm going to take a Gorgeous Grape marker and I'm going to do a little flicking. And this just adds some really neat interest to the background of my layer. And I've also got a basic black marker and I'm going to do the same thing. You just pop that tip in there and you flick it. And this is what you get. I just love that. We're going to do the same thing to the takeout box pieces. And then I'm going to go at those with a little bit of Gorgeous Scrape too. Love it. Okay, let's finish up our card. I've got some of the Joyous Noel glimmer paper here and a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. I wanted my moon on my card to be rather substantial because I don't know, I just really like big moons. So we can put this right, oh, you know what we're gonna do? Well, we can put this right in place. I'm just gonna throw that right on here. And then the Happy Halloween. Now, I've already got Happy here, so all I need is Halloween. I am going to grab a Post-it note and I'm going to put that over the Happy. This is just a great way. It's quick and easy to use your stamps when you only want part of the stamp. Oops, hang on, my Post-it note just moved. There we go. And we're going to stamp that right down here at the bottom. And that looks great. Sometimes you don't know, is it really going to turn out great? I wish I would have run this through on some of our adhesive sheets because that would make it a lot easier to glue it down, but I always forget about them. I shouldn't say always, I do use them, but unless they're laying out in front of me, do you guys have that where if stuff is put in drawers, you forget about it and you don't use it? This piece would be a great one to have those adhesive sheets on the back so you can just peel it off and it would be just like a sticker. So I'm gonna bring my Happy in here and add that. And then that black layer that's gonna go under this layer, we're going to take our bat punch and we're gonna punch out some bats. Now you wanna make sure you stay away from the edge because this layer is going under the white layer. Just punch out some bats here and we can add this white layer to that black layer now. And this is just a great way to conserve on cardstock. There's no reason to pull out another piece of black when you can use this. And then we're gonna add our bats. Oops, you know what? Scratch that. Mini dimensionals. Yeah, that's gonna make your bats really cool. So I'm gonna do mini dimensionals. They fit on here perfect. You don't have to do any trimming or cutting of your dimensionals, so that's pretty neat. I'm gonna add 2 to this big one. I want him to be nice and sturdy. And this little bit. And here we go. We do this. And this. And that. Oh, that's the same one. I don't want 2 of the same bat. Let's bring this one in here. Put a dimensional on him. There we go. Oh yeah, that's the ticket. Okay, here comes the card base. Add this right on here. What do you guys think? Isn't that the coolest background? I was so grateful to Gina for showing that to me. I just thought it was the neatest thing ever. Now, here's our inside. And then I promised you a little treat holder with these takeout boxes. So these are super easy. They're already scored on these little tabs. So all you need to do is fold those tabs over on both pieces. There we go. And then there are score lines on the bottom piece here and here. Okay, so this is one side of the box. And this is the other side of the box. Now all I'm going to do is add glue to the tabs on each one of these. just like that. Just like this. And then you put them together. So here's some glue on this tab. And then I'm going to add some glue right here in the bottom, because this is going to sit right down in here. Here goes that next tab. And then we need to add some glue to this final tab right here. You want to make sure your box stays squared up. So make sure you're watching those edges. There we go. And then of course, just like a Chinese takeout box, your flaps fold on the score lines, just like this, just like this. And then we're going to pull these two pieces together. Just like that. Isn't that cute? Look how cute that is. And then I've got a piece of our black glittered ribbon. If you guys didn't get your hands on any of this yet, it is just so gorgeous. I love the glitter flecks. It's almost like glitter was sprayed on it. I'm going to tie a cute little bow right up here on the top. I'm going to futz with it just a little bit to make it look super cute. Oh, I forgot to put my candy in here, you guys. Oh, I'll have to do that later. Okay, and then I've got a piece of baker's twine. Now, the takeout Thinlits comes with a little tag like this, and I thought, oh, well, that would be cool if I could put the treat word from the trick or treat on there. So let's see how I can accomplish that. I think I'm going to actually use my Gorgeous Grape marker. Because this is a little closer, it's kind of really hard to use that Post-it note method that I just showed you. So we're just going to use a marker. Oh, pretty darn good. Wasn't sure. It's like, that's kind of hard to see. Then we're going to add this black baker's twine. I'm going to put this right on the bow. And then I'm just going to pull it up and tie it just like this. Now we have just a couple more things to do to this little treat box. I can also, made a mess out of that, didn't I? I can also so I'm sticking that pokey tool in there. Yeah. I can also slide the ribbon off to add my treats, because I'm bummed that I didn't put my treats in there. I've got some little mini candy bars that are left over from my last little adventure up north. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, here we go. Here's our little treat tag. Here's our little box. And then I thought it would be cool if I just added a little bat here and there. So we'll do one there. And then how about one right here? Got a couple bats on there. And where'd my candy go? Oh, here it is. Don't worry, I found it. There's a candy bag. Several of these little candy bars would fit in here. Boy, most of the Milky Ways are gone. Those are my favorite because they're dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate. So here's our card and our matching little treat box. And isn't that just precious? This would be awesome to give to anybody, but it'd be great to give to your coworkers at work. You could set this on their desk. Sweet and cute. This is also going to be a great little box for Christmas themes, right? Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you loved the background as much as I did. Here's one that looks just a little more speckled. This was the first one that I made and tried out. I absolutely love the re-inker with the alcohol and a spritzer, and then using your die cuts as a stencil. It was just genius. Now remember, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. You can click right up here. That's going to take you to my blog where you're going to find online ordering buttons if you need to order any of these products. The online ordering buttons are in the right-hand column on my blog. You'll find my blog right here at www.stampabove.com. If you are purchasing in the month of October, this is the host code. If it's later than that, look in the right-hand column for the new code. There's one there every month. And don't forget to click down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything I have coming out. Lots of fun happening over at stampabove.com. Thanks, you guys, for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me. Make sure you head back to my blog to see what all the other one stamp at a timers have made for the Ghouls, Goblins, and Gourds blog hop. Bye-bye.